Hi, Brian Whitaker at Wits End Ranch. And usually I seem to end up giving you a weather report because it does affect a lot of things: ranching, horses, cattle, my life. The theme lately is rain, wet. We're last week of June and 8 inches of rain this month so far. That's quite a bit above more normal, but just adapt. You can see here, like, there's wet spots. I normally don't have wet spots. And this is a low end here. And you can see everything kind of rolls down here. So it was time to get the cattle out of here. This was their second rotation through. And they were on this for about 10 days. And between grazing it and knocking it down and starting to get really wet, or I didn't want them to get it all muddy, put them up on higher elevation. And also because the fence down here was pretty much non-existent. It's all hot wire, it's all electric wire here. And we got a creek that runs close to one of my fence lines, and that creek is up and over and shorting out my fence. So it's time to get them out of here. And this other stuff has been rested for about a month, so that's good. But I need to move my water tank faster, as evident by that. This rain's tricky. It'll be fine some spots, it'll be fine, and with animals all of a sudden it's not fine. So I gotta really keep on top of it. This is an area that's low. I just have an issue there. At some point maybe put a little extra dirt down, but just one of those things that for about 3-4 years, it's the name of the weather's been drought. Now it's completely different. So we're going to go through here where the cattle are and go see what's going on. We're going to keep moving today because our jokingly state bird, the mosquito here in Minnesota, has made its appearance even during the day. It's morning here, and air is hardly a breeze, very humid, like 99.8%, dew points high 60s. So it's fortunately it's just mid 60s, maybe get to 70 today. That's good, because otherwise this would be quite oppressive. Bad enough. So there's a kind of example of needing to move things. I'll have to move this mineral. You see where they congregate to eat the mineral. They pug that mud down, pug the grass into the mud, and if you keep moving it won't be a problem. Probably got to move this already too. I don't know if you can hear it squish. I got my wireless mic on, so maybe not, but even up on here on top of the hill, it's squishy. I'm not complaining. It's just another challenge. It's another improvise, call an audible. One thing about it, grass is growing this year. Places around us have certainly been in some trouble with flooding. We live in an area up here where, and this was on purpose when it was originally, oh, there goes a pheasant. There goes another one. And there's a bobolink flying. I love bobolinks. They're a cool bird. There's two of them. There's a pair of ducks right there. Those are the, I can't remember what those are. They're not mallards, not wood ducks. All kinds of stuff up here. You know, it's not a bad thing when you get distracted sometimes and you're out riding your horse through a pasture looking, there's a butterfly. It's not a bad thing to be distracted by nature. These bobolinks, when I first started getting pretty serious about raising cattle and then treating the land differently, meaning more of a rotational grazing type thing and resting the grass behind them, I didn't really ever know about certain birds, and then all of a sudden this bird started popping up, and would actually sit on like these fence lines here, these temporary lines to keep the cattle from going further forward or back. And I used to call them a skunk bird because they kind of look like little skunks. And finally looked them up, and they're bobolinks, and they need this kind of area to live, to nest, and boy, now I see them a lot after switching things up, and that's the nice. There's one up on the second post here. Probably can't see it. To give you an idea, these step-in posts is what they're called, these blue ones holding this electric line, I think are 3.5 feet tall, and the grass is well over that. I am not complaining about that, and it's thick and it's lush. We got all kinds of different species. I know, the mosquitoes, Copper, you're doing good. So it's a good day when you can kind of be interrupted by nature, and when you can switch things over and do it in a way that you got to start looking up certain species of animals because you've never seen them before. The other thing was I'd get these little holes. Done a video on this before. Little holes in these manure patties, I call them. They looks like someone took an eraser of a pencil and poked dozens of holes. Maybe I'll find one. Come to find out, and then I finally found them, and I see them all the time now. They're dung beetles. Very good for soil and grass. You're going to take a little grass. All right, we got them all mobbed up here, and that is the good thing of the bugs, is it keeps the cattle together, and it's kind of better when they eat the grass together. I don't know where my dog went. It's hard to find things in here. Squishy. So I gave him quite a bit of room just because of that. Boy, this is actually kind of wet in here. Almost muddy. We got one calf to go. One more cow should have a calf. It hasn't been as easy as last year. I've had some troubles and complications, and I guess that's just the way it goes some years. But right now, boy, these calves are really growing. Right now, everybody's looking pretty good. Yeah, it'd be nice for a little breeze up here. It's like I said, thankfully it's sun's not out and it's not hot, but it's kind of hard, one of those days where it's just a little heavy to breathe. You just feel it. You could, as they say, almost cut the air with a knife. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 10. 1, 2, 3. So I guess I should introduce you to my friend. This is Copper. Copper's helping me out today. Probably seen quite a bit of videos. I do have other horses. I just seen the video, and he's around. And my buddy Hondo is out here somewhere. Who knows what? Oh, dragonfly. Oh, there he is. He's on. I guess I don't know what that was called. Drag. He's on drag for the herding terms. Although we're not going anywhere with them. They're all bunched up and ready to go, even though we're not going anywhere. But they look good. They got enough to eat. That is for sure. Copper, you can steam a little bit to eat. It's all right. Well, everybody's looking good. This one here is this closest cow is the one that yet to calve. But she's, one thing I've learned doing this over the years is I'm not very good at guessing when they're going to calve. Heifers are a little easier because they've never had a calf before. But I thought she was bagging up 2 weeks ago on her udders for milk, but I don't know. Don't know. She'll have it when she'll have it. I know that much. There goes barn swallow. There it goes again. There's dragonfly. Man, I'm pretty surprised how smooshy it is. We did get another half, it's just almost becoming an old hat here, but we did get another half inch, almost a half inch overnight. Fortunately, we weren't getting what was predicted or what was warned about. We're maybe still technically under a flood watch, but they were saying inches, although they're still calling for more rain, unfortunately, at this point. I mean, when you have grass like this, it's not as detrimental as other things, but and we're up here higher, we're don't have a basement, so there's something good about that. Not flooding. I know there's areas not far from here, several cities and areas that here we've got the Crow River that is prone to flooding when it gets like this, and there's some folks that live close to that throughout the area, different areas. Few cities, few towns nearby are nothing bad yet, but it's very close from going, well, I shouldn't say that. There are some areas that are bad. So we got that, and the Minnesota River is in not real far away. That's a bigger river. And then of course some people live near the Mississippi. We're not close. That's quite a ways away from here, but just even these smaller creeks that hardly even show up on a map. We've got one running through, and I don't know if you can see through the trees, but that's been flooded over into my pasture and my hay field, and then the neighbor's crops. That can happen in the spring especially, but not ever this much. All right. Well, my fence hasn't fallen in yet, thankfully. I've never seen it this close over here. Usually the cattle are been out of here now. They can't come up in here. I'll let this grow back a little bit. That's my hay field. Never seen it this close before. Yeah, see my hay fields underwater. That tree, I remember standing underneath it once because it was shade. I think that looks like that's a bunch of soil that eroded into it. Man, I can see over the road. Probably can't see it, but that's all flooded over. This corner, I went back here earlier, and that's all flooded. Now these little dugouts have nothing to do with that creek, but this one is fed by a culvert and stuff that goes underneath the driveway. And this one's just a dugout, I think. I don't know if it's man-made or what, but the ducks like it. Boy, this is basically flooded across. Never seen that before. It's not like anything serious, but it's just so strange to see some things. I mean, definitely not damaging or serious like a lot of people are dealing with. And like I said, up where our houses are, we don't even have, it doesn't even hardly squish. It's just so nice, and it's higher. We don't have basements, but what the heck was, something went through the water, Copper saw it, and went up that tree. I don't know. I have seen the river otter down kind of in this area before. I don't know what that was, if a squirrel. Well, I tell you, if it was any hotter, thank goodness it's not. It's kind of ugly out. There's a breeze. Man, that feels good. Boy, this is never, the water's usually never this far up. He says, get me out of all this water. Hey, he doesn't mind the water, by the way. He's pretty good about going through it, but I'm sorry if this is kind of boring, but man, I like this. I don't know if you can see it, but pretty common around here to see these monarchs. This is some sort of thistle, and they're eating, or I should say they're on the flower of the thistle, so never know what a weed might do. Don't want a lot of weeds, thistles, but that monarch is making use of it. Riveting, huh, Copper? Just thrilling. That is pretty cool. Every time I see one of these things. One just, too bad I missed it, but one just flew up over Copper's ears. The monarch. Yeah, big sigh. We're going to go get the mail because we got to give a horse a job. And we got a driveway that's almost half mile long. It can be kind of a hike, so instead of walking it today, I'm going to ride it. Thanks, Copper. It's still on her. Where'd it go? I can see it, but I can't really see it through the viewfinder. Am I on it? No, there it is. Pretty cool. Let's go get the mail. Well, thanks for joining me. Just a little quick tour. Hopefully things are good with weather where you're at. At least we're avoiding major storms and everything. Keep those trails of happiness.